if you stop thinking about me like everyone else. Like basic, you know?
What do you guys think? Most expensive resort in Morocco.
A scene from a new Netflix series called Inventing Anna, the case of Anna Delvey, the fake heiress who became really the talk of New York City. It arrives on Netflix today.
Image. Money,
10-part series. Eli is here to tell us all about what people will be watching. Eli, it sounds like this is just too juicy a story not to be snapped up and brought to the screen.
It is one of those true life tales where like instantly it becomes gets headlines. You could see screenwriters typing away going, okay, you know, this has to be something. And now it is a 10-part series. And I mean, the ingredients are, like you said, I mean, really kind of juicy. You've got this conniving con artist, this young, slippery, Instagram-ready chameleon who had half of New York City swooning and then cheering her downfall. All a true story, which became this viral article. The real Anna Sorokin is her real name, is in prison currently. In the Netflix series, she is played by another familiar face from Netflix, Julia Garner, who you may know from the Ozark series. But how to bring this twisted true life tale of this woman who was jet setting from Milan to Paris to New York City to life? Well, you bring on the drama queen herself, she of Grey's Anatomy, she of Bridgerton. I am talking about the showrunner extraordinaire, Shonda Rhimes. Now, Anna might be the title character, but Shonda's way of revealing who Anna is to borrow a little bit from the Citizen Kane playbook and introduce us to Vivian, a reporter who smells a great story and works for the fictional Manhattan magazine. And so essentially the series works backwards, slowly introducing us to who Anna conned episode by episode. Right off the top, though, poor Vivian, Shonda stacks the deck against her. She's pregnant. She's got this story that was a scandal that destroyed her reputation. Her editor doesn't believe her. Her husband wants her to stop reporting, take a year off, and just be a mom. But Vivian, played by Anna Klumsky, who you might know as Amy from Veep, is convinced there is something to this heiress. There is something to this Anna. This is going to be the story that's going to turn everything around for me. Although, when she does meet Anna at Rikers, Anna's not exactly on board. Let's take a little look from the trailer.
Anna committed real white-collar felonies while posing as a socialite in an attempt to steal millions of dollars.
Hi, Anna. I just had some questions.
I have a question. What's you wearing? You look poor.
So that's Anna. And like, for someone who would bring people like onto her side, she had this attitude. She never held back. She doesn't bite her tongue, but she knew how to read someone and she knew how to read a room. And this was a woman with a plan to build this exclusive social club. Let's take another look.
You have to work hard to get what you want. I've always known that. I'm building something. It's a private club, a step beyond the VIP room.
It's $40 million to finance.
We have 2 banks interested in loaning her the money.
Perhaps the most fascinating thing about this series, Heather, that accent.
I was trying to place it.
Exactly. So she was born in Russia. There's a little bit of German. There's a little bit of kind of millennial valley girl. Add to that this kind of soupçon of vocal fry, but always that edge of attitude. Now, the series operates by introducing us to the various characters that Anna kind of glommed onto and went through, like tissue paper, the tech bubble futurist, the Hamptons gazillionaire, the investment banker, the fashion designer, and more, with a lot of Instagram and some reporting that occasionally I had to roll my eyes at. We start to hear the real story while Anna sits in Rikers waiting for her approaching trial.
And does this treatment, this kind of approach to the story, does it work for you, Eli?
I mean, it's a fun and very frothy show. If anything, you get the sense it's not so much inventing Anna as it is admiring Anna and kind of how well she kind of played the New York City elite. Now, CBC News actually had a chance to chat with Julia Garner, the actor who plays Anna. And as you might imagine, she wanted to meet the real person. I mean, she'd watched the tapes, she'd studied the voice, she got the accent, but she wanted to see Anna unfiltered. So she actually went to visit her in jail, and well, you can hear she left quite an impression.
What I was the most surprised about was how bubbly she was, how charming and likable she was. You know, I knew that she was going to be very highly intelligent, but at the same time, I was like scared. You know, I'm intimidated. It was intimidating meeting her.
I mean, I think that is a fascinating combination in that you have this petite young woman who is intimidating and yet charming and captivating at the same time. But I'm not quite convinced that Inventing Anna, the series, actually cracked that code. Much like Anna herself, it oohs and ahs over the money and the power and the privilege. It's stacked with amazing wardrobes and wealth and yachts and the best of the best. But behind the pumping soundtrack and beautiful people, what's missing, I think, are the insights. Now, Anna Klumsky does her best as Vivian. Arian Moayed, you might recognize him as Stewie from Succession, is a lot of fun as Anna's try-hard attorney. But after all that admiration and eye candy, for me, Anna remains a bit of an enigma. 3 stars out of 5.
Eli, thank you. That's higher than I thought. I always like to guess what you're going to go with. Eli with 3, and we'll see you next week. Eli in Toronto.